Kia ora, more wet, windy and snowy weather in store as we head in towards the long weekend. Out towards the north and the west of us, you can see this area of cloud, a developing system running down towards the South Island through the rest of today for Friday, bringing a fair number of severe weather watches and warnings across both the South Island and also the North Island for later on Saturday. As this area of low pressure runs closer towards us, it feeds a fair amount of rain, heavy rainfall into parts of the Tasman district, also wrapping round in towards Canterbury. You can see it turn into snow about those higher parts of Canterbury and Otago. Some stronger winds with that system, that rainfall feeding in towards parts of Otago as well. And by the end of the day, this feature runs across the North Island with some thunderstorms in it too, and towards the eastern parts of the Bay of Plenty. We'll also find some stronger winds through parts of Taranaki, Taihape and into Fiordland. There's plenty happening over the next few days. And that rainfall starts off across the central parts of the country, in towards parts of particularly northwestern Tasman, wraps round in towards Canterbury and then feeds down through parts of Otago, particularly in towards North Otago and parts of Dunedin. But I think the heaviest rainfall up about these higher parts of the Canterbury area. That's where we can find the heaviest rainfall. As much as 200 to 250 millimetres of rainfall as we go through Saturday. So a fair bit of rain to come through, especially for this eastern side of the region. But you can see as well those heavier bursts of rain across the far north and west of the South Island. Also picked out in blue, Mount Taranaki, those eastern ranges of the Bay of Plenty and the Taurua Range. But like I say, it's not just the wet weather, we've got some stronger winds as well. As we head into Saturday, we'll find these low pressure systems developing, giving a really good squeeze of those winds over the tops of the Southern Alps in towards Westland and Fiordland. Strong wind watches in place for you. And as we go through the night time, Saturday night into Sunday, we'll find those northerly winds increasing through Taranaki and Taihape. So some strong wind watches as well. But you can see we've got plenty happening, especially across the South Island, with heavy rainfall warnings through most of the Canterbury High Country. That heavy snowfall warning, particularly late season snow there for southern Canterbury down in towards Otago. And also those heavy rain warnings across the top of the South Island as well. Plenty happening. Let's take a bit of a run up the country and look at those in a bit more detail. So we'll start off down on the southern parts of the country. Those winds picking up through Fiordland, a strong wind watch for you and a heavy rainfall watch for Otago and in towards Dunedin, with that rain feeding in on those easterly winds as well. So that rain watch runs through the daytime on Saturday. The heaviest rain to the north, but one to keep an eye on as we go through Saturday and also perhaps in towards Sunday, that rain taking its time to clear. This heavy snow watch you can see through those inland parts of Otago. Snow perhaps down as low as about 400 metres, but the heaviest snow up about 600 metres. That's where we could find as much as 20 to 40 centimetres of snowfall through there. And we've also got a heavy rain watch for the Queenstown Lakes area as well. So a very unseasonable snowfall through there. Well worth keeping an eye on that, especially for those higher roads and passes. Heading up the country, we've got that strong wind watch up through Westland, again with that squeeze of winds over the tops of the Southern Alps and then down through the valleys, those southeasterlies being a real feature. Places like Haast, well worth keeping an eye on those. The wettest weather, the other side of the hills, that heavy snowfall watch for those southern parts of Canterbury, heavy rain up across those northern parts of Canterbury, as much as 200 to 250 millimetres of rainfall through there. And as we continue up, we'll find a heavy rain warning as well for those northwestern parts of the Tasman district through the rest of Friday and in towards Saturday. And again, rainfall totals could be around about that 200 millimetre mark through there as well. We've also got a heavy rain warning on the other side of the region in towards the Richmond and Bryan ranges and across the Cook Strait in towards the Taurua Range, with that rainfall sticking with us. The rain warning over the Taurua Range through to about 7 p.m. on Friday. So things should ease off for you as we head through the night time, but taking its time to clear down across the south. Through the night time tonight, with that low pressure getting closer, we'll find the winds picking up through Taranaki and Taihape, with those winds strengthening, particularly through the night time. Northerly winds, so on the other side of the hills, squeezing down through Taihape. Winds perhaps reaching severe gale in the most exposed areas, but a bit of a blustery night for you once again. A heavy rain watch for Taranaki Monga itself. And as we go through the daytime, we'll find the chance of that rain moving across the North Island. Heaviest though across those eastern ranges of the Bay of Plenty, where there could be some more thunderstorms running through, and a wet end to the day on Saturday and a wet start to Sunday. So there is plenty happening across the country. Do keep a close eye on the forecast and on those watches and warnings. You can find all the information over on the Met Service website. But with that snowfall, the other thing we're keeping an eye on will be the conditions across those higher passes. There's road snowfall warnings for everywhere from, say, Arthur's Pass down towards Milford Road. Snowfall mounts on the top of Arthur's Pass could be as much as 20 to 30 centimetres of snow through there as we go through Saturday. So well worth keeping up to date with the information on the forecast, but also the information from Kotahi NZTA on the conditions of the road as well. Take extra care, extra caution, but the good news is that things are looking a bit better as we head through the rest of the long weekend. That's it from me. That's more at metservice.com.